Social Media Week, and the Social Media Week independent event that will happen in the fall. Rachel will give you more information on that in a little bit, I'm sure. I have the opportunity to talk a little bit about the Economic Development Authority, but our host tonight is Blake from WeWork, and I want Blake to say a few words first. So, Blake.
Guys, how's it going tonight? Thank you to Fairfax CDA for coming back. We love hosting you guys. Some of you look familiar, but raise your hand if you've never been to a WeWork before. Welcome. If you don't know what WeWork is, we are a platform for creators. And beyond the buzzwords in that sentence, what that really means is we're a co-working space where people can come make a life, not just a living. This does not look like your typical office, and there's plenty of good reasons for that. We have a community that spans not just Tyson's, but around the world. I believe we're in 14 countries now, 52 cities, and we're expanding rapidly. We'll have 2 more WeWorks opening up in DC by the end of the summer, so it's a really exciting time for us. Love to tell you guys more about this if you want to see the space. I know some of you have signed up for private tours. If you'd like to learn more about WeWork tonight, I'd be happy to give anyone a tour at the end of the program tonight, and you can just come find me or a couple other people who will be behind the desk over here, and we'd be happy to talk all about it with you. Thank you guys so much, and please enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you very much again for hosting us. It's interesting, you know, this is a kind of working space that we have not really had ever before. I mean, you see a lot of this now all around the country, and we're starting to see it here in Fairfax County, and it's just another option that we can offer to businesses that want to come to Fairfax and grow here. So we're delighted to have this kind of option here, in addition to all the traditional office space that we're all used to. So, again, my name is Alan Fogg. I'm Vice President for Communications and Research at the Economic Development Authority. Delighted to have you all here. Blake got to ask you a question, so I am too. How many of you live in Fairfax County? Excellent. I don't know what's wrong with the rest of you, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about why economic development matters to residents, and in fact, it should matter to anybody wherever you live. The economic development is all about maintaining and improving the quality of life in the community. Here at our Economic Development Authority, we work to do that by helping businesses start, grow, expand, locate in Fairfax County. And we want to put them in office space. We want them to be part of a growing economy, so we want them to be paying taxes. And those taxes help fund the services that county residents and people who live here use. So we're all about developing that virtuous cycle of businesses coming here, paying taxes, we fund the services, we keep that going, we have a great place to live and work. So, why are we doing this? Why would we host an event called the Digital Afterlife? Well, this is just another thing for us to do as a way to attract and retain businesses and the people who would work in those businesses. So we're really excited to be part of the Social Media Week events because kind of a new thing for us, kind of a different look for us. We want to let digital media companies and the people that work in them know that we really want them to be here. We think we have a great product for them here. We want them to come grow here. So we're excited to have this event. And I have to say we're excited to have our panelists. We're excited to have our sponsors, which include Swing Space, Zach's company. We have Corner Bakery, we have Role Play, which is really fabulous Vietnamese food. That was a great selection, Rachel. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, first round of applause for the Vietnamese wraps. And am I missing anybody? WeWork, thank you, WeWork. So anyway, without any further ado, I am going to introduce Zach, who is our moderator for this evening. Zach has founded 2 companies. Swing Space, which is another office space option for growing companies, and DuPont Studios, which does film production and website design based in the District of Columbia. So we're glad to have you out here. Yes. Learn more about Fairfax County and Tyson. And we have some great panelists that Zach will introduce for us. So without further ado, who am I giving this to? Over to Rachel Adler. Thank you, everybody.
here. This is my first time at this WeWork. Swing Space is a platform to find small offices, and WeWork is one of our partners, so it's kind of fun to be out here. Let's start with talking, introducing yourselves a little bit, and we'll start with Pantea.
Hello. My name is Pantea Stevenson. I'm an attorney with B. Keeney & Corman. You can tell I'm an attorney because I have paper in front of me. I'm actually a corporate transactional attorney. I work a lot with tech companies and startups, and I have an intellectual property background. And the reason I became involved in this topic is I write a lot of those terms of uses that you guys agree to. So whether or not you know what you're agreeing to, believe it or not, companies, having the public become angry at them is a huge deterrent. So we spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to write them so that it balances the company's needs with everybody's needs for privacy and ownership of their own, ownership and control of their content. And I've had the help of my colleagues who are in our estates and trusts practice group, and they provide me with additional information so we can give you an overview of some of the nitty-gritty things that, active steps that you should take forward.
Hi, I'm Rachel Adler. I'm with Fairfax County Economic Development Authority. I'm in charge of business development for digital media group, so all those sweet digital media fact sheets came from the communications team and me with all the information regarding digital media. Prior, I worked with universities and New York State doing digital media, and I have a digital will, so I was talking about it with someone, and they were like, who has a digital will? I'm like, I do, because I don't want to be a creepy little Facebook zombie on Facebook. Like, I don't want to be that person that creeps up. It's like, it's their birthday, and you're like, oh, but they've been dead for 5 years. So I thought it was an interesting topic, and I hope you guys find it interesting as well.
So let's start there. Who here has a digital will? Okay, Rachel's the odd one out. She's on our panel. Do we all know, who here doesn't know what a digital will is? So everybody knows what a digital will is then? It's all about double negative questions. Okay, so let's just explain what a digital will is and why one should have one maybe.
So before we start that, actually we have, so I'll explain what a digital will is first, and then we'll watch a video from Evan Carroll, who's actually the co-author of Digital Afterlife. He's down in North Carolina. It was really nice of him to record a special message just for us. He thought it was really interesting that the Economic Development Authority was putting on an event regarding digital death and digital afterlife, because his biggest concern are companies that have all of these digital zombies on LinkedIn and Facebook that say they work for the company but they've been dead. So a digital will. A digital will is basically your digital estate, so your Facebook, your Twitter, your Google accounts, your banking accounts, all have ownership. They have an estate manager, someone who's in charge of your passwords, and they have the access. If what you write in your will is like, hey, I want to be a digital AI, your family has to, either, do your wishes, or they're like, you're not being a Facebook ghost to me, to be like, delete my data or let me live on. So there's options that you can have, whether or not you ask your family to download all of your data, and they can create a chatbot that sounds like you. And there are companies in Fairfax that actually do that. That is their bread and butter. Yeah. You're all like, what? But yes, it does exist. Or you're delete everything. Like, delete my computer, delete my phone, delete everything about me. You can keep all of the information if you want. So I have a digital will. I had ulcer surgery last year. So I was like, if I die, I'm like, brother, sister, you're in charge of my passwords, delete everything if I die on the table. My parents were like, what about us? I'm like, no, they know what they need to delete. And so that's what a digital will is. But I'm going to give it up to Evan Carroll right now for his video.
And this isn't posthumous, he's alive.
Yeah. He's alive, he's not dead. He just lives in North Carolina.
You can't hear him.
Lauren, is it 100% on my computer?
Yeah, it's the opposite.
So if you don't know who Evan Carroll is, he is on Twitter at Evan Carroll. That's it. He wrote Digital Afterlife, and he wrote this book back in 2010. And he's going to discuss in the video of why he actually created this book. There was a soldier who was fighting in Afghanistan, and his family couldn't get into his Yahoo account because Yahoo was like, well, you're not this guy. And they're like, well, he's dead. And they're like, well, we don't have any procedures that tell us otherwise of why we should let you into his account. And he had all of these letters that his family wanted to create a book about. And so he talks about what drove him to talk about the digital afterlife and work with companies. And he was one of the keynote speakers at South by Southwest discussing digital afterlife and your digital death and all of these companies that have come up and popped up and profit off of digital death. So you can have a company that collects all your data and all this other stuff, and he's going to discuss that in the video.
Hello everyone, I'm Evan Carroll. Thank you so much for allowing me to join you at tonight's event virtually. I regret I couldn't be there in person, but I'm so happy I had this opportunity to share with you. When I began researching the digital afterlife in 2008, three things struck me. First of all, I was taken back by the story of U.S. Marine Justin Ellsworth. Justin passed away in the fall of 2004 as he was defusing an improvised explosive device that was planted at a roadside in Afghanistan. After his passing, Justin's father, John Ellsworth, sought to gain access to Justin's Yahoo account. Justin had told his father that he wanted to create a scrapbook of all the memories he was sent, all the encouraging notes he received while he was in Afghanistan. His father wanted to comply with Justin's request. So, Justin's father decided to gain access to his Yahoo account. Realizing Justin had recently changed his password, he went to Yahoo seeking access. Unfortunately, he was denied, citing Yahoo's terms of service. John Ellsworth was undeterred. He took to two courts, the probate courts in Michigan, as well as the Court of Public Opinion. Newspapers and websites were flooded with headlines of Yahoo blocking access to Justin's email. Ultimately, Yahoo relented and told John if he received a court order, they would comply. So 3 CDs and 3 banker's boxes later, John received Justin's emails. It shouldn't be that hard for our family to comply with our final wishes. And we should make those wishes known so they can access or delete our digital assets as we see fit. So that leads me to my second realization. I realized there were so few resources for people in this area. And that's what ultimately led me to start my website, thedigitalbeyond.com, and write the book, Your Digital Afterlife. And third, I realized that this problem can be easily solved if everyone would just have a simple conversation with their family members or friends about what they wanted to have. That's a perfect starting point. Speaking of starting points, you've showed up for tonight's event. You've taken at least one step to securing your digital legacy. Again, I'm so glad you could be here for tonight's event. I'm sorry I can't be, but I look forward to following along. Feel free to tweet me at Evan Carroll. I'll be following along tonight, and I look forward to meeting all of you virtually. Take care.
Well, that was nice. So let's just take this back to the girls' season. That's good, Rachel. We were a little bit concerned about 10 minutes ago. It's good that it's not like something dark and dreary. So let's talk just a little bit about how consistently we all use social media, and perhaps how aware or unaware we are of the obligations and the opportunities and the responsibilities that these platforms have to us and to our family if something terrible happens.
So, hello? So you may ask yourself, why did Yahoo do what they did? Are they just, don't they realize what this father went through? Don't they realize what's going on? They're just following the laws. The laws in this field haven't kept up with the rapid pace of technology. And in fairness, the companies haven't kept up. A lot of the tech culture doesn't think about the long-term implications of what happens next. So there are federal laws prohibiting someone from accessing your computer and from accessing your accounts, unauthorized access. And the laws are still not clear whether or not a fiduciary, someone you allow to access, has the right to go in and access that account. And the laws are not clear yet about whether or not the courts can actually grant access to that fiduciary. Another,
So just to jump on that for a second, like what's the difference between a locked closet in your bedroom or a diary that you've only written to and it's a non-public thing, and your email account?
you mean between a tangible and intangible asset? Sure. Can you explain a little more besides I can answer it?
Sure. So it seems like as a sort of a thought experiment,